What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. This week's episode of Atlanta was titled The Club, and it pits Paperboy, Earnest, and Darius in the middle of the club known as Primal. It's one of Atlanta's mini nightclubs, and the only reason why they're there is to get paid. I think that's what the entire season is pretty much revolved around, getting paid. That's Paperboy's mentality. So he's only there to get money, but he hates the club, and I think most of his arc throughout the episode kind of reinforces that. He has to deal with the less poppin' VIP area than the NBA player that is, across the club from him. There's this fan who's rapping his music, which in most cases an artist would be proud to have that. But Paperboy is just like, yeah, thank you, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm not really Paperboy. Like, he's just trying to shrug him off. I think what Paperboy is, he wants to be low key. He doesn't want to be a celebrity. I don't think he's able to handle it. And we see that sort of that transition coming from the beginning of this season up until now. And then later on in the episode, there's like a bunch of random guys in this section, and he kicks them out. Another indicator that he hates the club because he doesn't want to party with a bunch of people that he doesn't know. I mean, at this point, Ernest is off trying to find a promoter, and Darius is, doing whatever the hell he's doing. The best Paperboy scene was when he strong-armed the promoter at the end, though. I love that because it showed you like he was determined to get his money after having a horrible night. Not being recognized, getting dissed all night, and then he didn't even get the girl's number at the end, so he was fired up. He was ready to go and get his money that Ernest was supposed to get. Ernest only got $750 because the promoter told him a series of lies, like he went over his alcohol limit, he didn't perform, they had to hire extra security, and for some reason that all comes out of the $5,000 that the promoter owes Paperboy and Ernest. Which brings me to my next point. Ernest is not a very good manager. He's not fit to handle situations where he's getting stiffed out of money by janky promoters. Granted, the scenes where Ernest is trying to track down the promoter were hilarious. I was dying at the fact that he has this secret wall and he pulled the wall disappearing act on Ernest. I love that scene a lot. It was hilarious. It doesn't take away from the fact that Ernest is not really aggressive, so in situations where they're getting stiffed for money, he's not going to push back and fight back. That's what Paperboy is going to do, and I think it's going to end up landing him in hot water before the season's over with. Then you have Darius. I miss Darius because it feels like it's been forever since he's been in an episode. So for him to come back and return, I thought it was good, and I think they use him just the right amount. I feel like Darius is good for his one-liners and all of that. So I don't really want to see like an entire episode focus on him. I know they had the extended episode with Ernest and Darius going on the little adventure together, but I think a lot of the times they use Darius enough to get his character over. For instance, you have this bit where he's talking to Paperboy in the club about this guy who's been flaunting an invisible car. And like he has these Instagram photos where he's like leaned up against it and it's in the background. It's hilarious. Paperboy obviously doesn't believe it. And it seems like typical Darius talk until the very end of the episode where we actually see this invisible car run someone over. It's one of those moments where you're like, what is going on here? It's a WTF moment because it takes the grounded aspect that Atlanta has built upon and trying to put it into this like fantasy. I know you're probably not supposed to look into it too much. It's just one of those scenes, but it was very weird to say the least. And then another scene that I liked from Darius was when he was talking to the bouncer and he asked him, have you ever had to toss out another bouncer before? And like he seems genuinely interested in that. And then asking him, how was that? And him saying he knew all the moves, it was hard. I thought it was a good scene for Darius. Finally, Darius does what everybody who hates the club wants to do. After being denied entry back into the VIP area because he doesn't have the right color wristband, he goes home, eats some cereal, and plays Zoo Tycoon. I think anybody that hates the club should just stay home, eat cereal, and play Zoo Tycoon. It's great. Atlanta is becoming known for these cliffhanging moments. At the end of this episode, we see the three in a restaurant, and they're about to eat when a breaking news comes on the TV talking about the shooting that happened at the club, and then also how Paperboy is wanted for armed robbery, for question in armed robbery, after getting his money from the promoter. We saw the promoter tell his girl to call the police. So I like that they do these moments, and I'm wondering if they'll address it in the next episode. Like I've said in many of my reviews for this show, it seems like they introduce these aspects that could pop up later on, but they don't really follow through with them, at least not yet. So I'm wondering if it'll be something that pops up with... There's only 2 episodes left. You have episode 9 and 10, so it has to pop up at some point. I feel like the writers are going to do a good job whether they introduce it in the next episode where he has to go in for questioning, or they hold off until like the season finale and do something that way. So I really enjoyed this episode titled The Club. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter at Sermons Domain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.